One day, I was driving home from work, and I went home, got my things. Me and my wife started arguing and whatnot. I left, came back out, got in the car, and I calmed down, and the police pulled me over. I'm like, what did I do now, officer? He said, sir, may I see your driver's license, registration, and insurance card? So I produced it. And that voice hit me. It said, kill, 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 kill. I was like, no, this man didn't do nothing to you. But the officer saw that there was something wrong with me. I was hostile. I was very, very nasty attitude. He kept his composure. If he didn't keep his composure, I think I would have exploded much more than I did. But he kept his composure, and he kept very calm. He told his partner, I got this, because his partner was ready to jump in the car and drag me out. And, I'm like, okay. And he said, sir, please step out of the car. He said, I had a suspended license. I said, suspended license? Why? He didn't know, and I didn't ask, and we just commenced getting the cuffs and handcuffing me and whatnot. So I said, okay, cool in the gang. When his partner started patting me down, I just didn't like that. I just didn't like to be patted down, because it's not so much what he was doing, it's the way he was doing it. Okay? You can pat somebody down without being hostile. This officer did not want to take me into the precinct. He said, I'll take you to we going to Kings County. I said, first of all, I deserve a phone call. I was telling him all my rights and whatnot. And he was like, yeah, okay. You'll get everything you deserve as soon as you see the doctor. I mean, this officer, he was a professional in my book, because he kept his calm. He didn't have to. I mean, I was calling him everything under the sun. He would just say, now, Mr. Wrighton, that's not necessary. So he was very composure, and like the doctor came out and spoke to me and asked me what was the matter. I was trying to explain to the doctor, I haven't had my medication. I was tired. I had a fight with my wife. I was going home. This cop once stopped me. No, he was not a cop. He was an officer. I got to give him that. And I was explaining all this to the doctor at Kings County, and he was saying, your explosive behavior, your aggressiveness is all focused on your on your diagnosis. I says, yeah, okay, groovy. Just tell him. He says, we're going to keep you for a few days. So I says, cool in the gang. I get away from my wife. I get 3 square meals, don't have to worry about work, and don't have to do nothing.
I actually had a really good teacher that believed in me, even though I didn't believe in myself. And even though I was still strung out on drugs and everything, and just a hot mess, she went to court for me and told the judge that I'm not what the things that she sees on paper. I will say that the one thing that was the most helpful in that situation was that judge actually listened to my teacher. Instead of looking at me as a number or a case. She actually paid attention to what my teacher was saying to her about my trauma history and about my potential. She explained to the judge about my dreams, at that point, it was about becoming a nurse. She explained to the judge, like I did, that if I had a felony, that I couldn't go to nursing, that I couldn't become a nurse, I couldn't get my license. And the judge actually listened to that. Like, she realized that at least I may be in trouble right now, but at least I have goals and that I'm thinking ahead, even though my life is a mess. That was helpful. She also paid attention to the fact that my mother was there in the courtroom with me. Now, I know not everyone has family that supports them and that will show up to court with them or whatever, but the judge noticed that my mother was there in the courtroom supporting me on an aggravated promotion of prostitution charge. And usually that's something someone wouldn't want to, be associated with at all. But my mother was there in full support of me. So the judge made a statement that basically said, because I have the support of my mother, that she can see that I may be able to overcome this aspect of my life. Even though that may not have necessarily been true, because she doesn't know my mom could have been the one setting up my appointments for all you know, but at least she acknowledged that part, and she was mindful of who was in court with me, who were my supporters, and there was also a moment where she said she realizes that going through trauma is something that can affect someone's life, and that she hopes that I get the help that I need. She said that it was going to be important for me to do that in order to be able to have a successful life later on down the road. She said that to me. Even though at the time I was still on drugs and my mind was not in the right place, I remembered that. Like, that stuck out to me, that eventually, one of these days, I need to get help. I need to go to therapy. I need to get some kind of treatment if I'm going to live a life worth living. That affected me, and that stuck in my head. Like, I remembered those words, and when it was time for me to get my stuff together, I remember her saying that to me, and I was ready for something different, a better life.